Hey, it's AJ here for Techsplained, and today we're going to be talking about backups. What are the different types of backups, and why are they so important? So, let's get started. Now, when it comes to backups, there are plenty of horror stories out there to scare you into using some form of a backup solution. You hear all the time about businesses being hacked or the victim of some form of ransomware, where they lose access to all of their files. I could dedicate a whole video to examples of people and businesses who've lost their files in these types of attack. My own dad's previous place of work actually lost all of their files in a ransomware attack. But instead, I wanted to tell you a little bit of a personal story. Back in 2008, I lost my mother to cancer. After she passed away, I made the effort to curate a folder on my computer of all of the images and videos that I could find. Some of these were film scans, image scans, others were only ever digital camera photos. There were more than 1,000 photos that I was able to find. I wanted to be able to make sure I could preserve every single visual memory I had of my mum. I also wanted to make sure I had a backup of all of these files and all of my other files, just in case the worst happened. So I used my computer's inbuilt backup software to be able to make a backup of all of these files to an external hard drive. And I thought nothing of it. I left this computer backup running every single day. I used my computer for university, for work, for personal and family projects. You name it, I used my computer for absolutely everything. But then about 7 years ago, my computer hard drive failed. I was absolutely devastated. As due to the computer's age, I was more than likely going to have to buy a new computer. I wasn't too worried about it though, as I had a backup of all of my most important files, including all of the photos and videos of my mum. So I took the plunge and I bought a new computer. I plugged in the backup hard drive to restore all of my most important files, and nothing. It was completely dead. I tried absolutely everything and I could not get it to work. I was upset, angry, I was just absolutely devastated that I'd lost all of my files, including all of these photos and videos of my mum. However, one day, a few months later, I got an email from a cloud storage provider reminding me that my free storage allowance was completely full. I'd completely forgotten about the account. I actually had to reset my password just to be able to get into the account, as I didn't have this password stored in my password manager. But once I did log into the account, I saw all of these photos and videos of my mum, including many of my other important files. I'd completely even forgot that I'd put these files in this storage solution. It was after this time that I realised that I must always have more than one backup of my most important files. And that's when I learnt about the 321 backup system. And that's what we're going to discuss in more detail in this video. So what is the 321 backup system? Well, this method is used by many companies and many individuals to be able to back up all of their files. Simply put, it's a method by which you can have 3 copies of every single file. The first copy is your local file, the file that you see and you use every single day on your computer. The second copy is a backup of this file that would exist on a different form of media. This could be a USB stick, an external hard drive, or even network storage. And the third copy of your file should always be in a remote location. This could be another building or another house, on a hard drive or another network storage device. Or in most cases, this is some form of cloud file storage system, or a backup solution which has a larger data center with its own redundancy solutions. By using this method and the correct software to ensure your files are backed up on a regular basis, you'll ensure that you always have copies of all of your files. And even if your computer fails, or your external backup drive is corrupted or broken as mine was, you can be safe in the knowledge that you have a third copy of the data elsewhere, and it may also have its own redundancy solution or even data rollback features. So if you're not currently using the 321 backup solution, ask yourself, is the data you have 100% safe and secure? So what are the different methods of backup? Now that we've established what the 321 backup method is, the next thing we should consider is the different methods of backup, because the best backup solution is the one that you never need to use. So let's first discuss local storage. Local storage, as we've mentioned, is anything stored on any of the drives in your desktop or your laptop, or even on your server, whichever is your primary method of being able to access these files. Now, most desktops or laptops will only have 1 or 2 drives maximum, and even then this will usually be a boot drive and a data storage drive. However, when it comes to servers, this may be 5, 10, 20 or even more drives. In these cases, the machine may already have some form of built-in redundancy, but this will depend on if you're running the server in any form of RAID other than RAID 0. If you want to find out more about RAID, look out for a future video dedicated to different storage types. However, this redundancy with servers is not considered a backup of the data, and if more drives fail than the RAID supports, or indeed the entire machine fails or is targeted in a ransomware attack, then you would still be stuffed without another form of backup. Now, most people who have a backup solution will usually have some form of external drive solution. This could just be as simple as an external hard drive, or even then it could just be as simple as manually copying all of your files on a regular basis. However, this is not the most ideal solution, as it relies on manual intervention and you're remembering to create this copy on a regular basis. The best way to be able to do this is via a software-based backup solution that can automate your system backups. Both Windows and Mac have built-in external hard drive-based backup solutions that will scan your system for new files or file changes on a regular basis and back them up to an external hard drive. On Windows, this is called Backup File History, and on a Mac, this is called Time Machine. All you need to be able to do is attach a suitably sized hard drive to the machine which you're using, and link that drive to the software feature. It's recommended that at minimum you attach a drive approximately double that to the size of the internal hard drives in the machine you're using. This will ensure that even if you do fill all of the drives inside your machine, you'll have a backup of all of those files and at least one older version of them. Myself, for example, I have a 2TB internal hard drive in my machine, and then a 5TB external backup drive. This means I have at least one copy of all of the files on my computer, which is somewhere in the region of about 1.2 terabytes of data, and I currently have 3 months or more worth of backup versions of all of those files. Those backups are then split across hourly change backups for the last 24 hours of my computer being online, daily backups for the past month, and then weekly backups for previous months. Just remember though, that this is just a single external drive. Even if you have multiple months worth of backups, if that one backup drive fails, then you have no backups that you can access. However, similar to local file storage, there is also another external backup option that you could consider, and that is network attached storage, also known as a NAS. Similar to servers, this could be as simple as a single hard drive attached to your network, or it could be as complex as multiple hard drives set up within a NAS enclosure. The good thing about a NAS setup though, is that similar to a server you can configure it in RAID 0 if you like, so that all of the drives installed show as a single hard drive for you to use, which has no redundancy, or for added redundancy you can use this network storage in a RAID array. When in a RAID array higher than RAID 0, it means that even if one drive fails in your backup enclosure, you'll be safe in the knowledge that there is added redundancy built in to access or recover these files. When it comes to a third stage or off-site backup solution, there are a few different things that you should consider. The first could just be as simple as an off-site or remote NAS solution, which would work very similar to having a NAS on-site. However, it's a lot less simple than using the inbuilt system backup solution for third stage backups. In these instances, it's not only recommended, but actually required to use third-party solutions, as neither Windows Backup File History or Mac's Time Machine allow you to back up to multiple locations in this capacity. Software solutions, such as Acronis, allow you to be able to manage backups much in the same way, but to multiple locations, including external data sources such as a remote NAS, or even a cloud storage provider. Speaking of cloud storage providers, cloud storage is another recommended backup solution. Reputable cloud storage providers such as OneDrive, Dropbox, iCloud and others have humongous data centers with multiple levels of redundancy. So rather than using an external NAS, you could use a cloud storage provider to store a copy of all of your files. Depending on the service or cloud storage provider you choose, there could also be a range of other different features available to you. These include things such as file versioning control, allowing you to go back in time to see all of the different versions of a file and restore it to an older version, or even create a copy of an older version of that file to download and edit. There are a couple of different ways which you can use cloud storage, and one is not necessarily considered a backup. The first is simply just cloud storage. This is the version that people will be most familiar with, as this is just a simple folder structure, similar to what you may have on your computer's hard drive, but it's managed through cloud storage systems instead. This method will store all of these files in the cloud, And most, if not all of these providers, will allow you to synchronize these folders with your computer, either all at once or just the select files and folders that you want to keep access to without an internet connection. The main problem with this and the 3-2-1 backup solution is that if you only keep, for example, 200 out of 1,000 files stored locally on your computer, then your external hard drive or NAS backup will only ever back up those 200 files, and not the other 800 files that are stored in the cloud. However, as we've said, depending on the cloud storage provider, they most likely have their own file storage redundancy. And the advantage of cloud storage is if you have more than one computer, it's easy to synchronize all of your files between multiple computers to allow you to seamlessly use multiple computers at once, all with the same files. The second method is cloud backup, where all of your files are stored locally on your machine and are then backed up to the cloud, rather than the cloud being the primary form of storage. This will allow you to keep a backup of all of your files, as well as versioning control of those files via a software solution, even if the cloud storage provider doesn't support versioning control. Here at Wantacall though, we can also offer you a third solution that bridges the gap between these two options, and this is cloud to cloud backup. As I mentioned previously, cloud storage, unless your provider offers backup, restore and versioning control, does not back up your data, meaning that if you accidentally permanently delete a file, you may not be able to recover it. And as many providers don't offer this, it means that your cloud storage solution is actually closer to a cloud-based version of local storage. The only difference being that there is much higher data redundancy in the cloud, and if your computer does die, there is a copy of those files to restore to a new computer. And this means that if any of those files stored in your cloud storage are deleted or become corrupted, there is still no way of recovering them. To ensure that you do have a true 3-2-1 backup solution, we can back up your cloud storage for that added peace of mind. So, can you say that you have at least 3 copies of your most important files? When it comes to ensuring that your files are safe and secure if the worst happens, we here at Wantacall can provide you with the best solution for your business. If you want to find out more about our backup solutions, or how Wantacall can help you with any of your IT needs, then reach out to our consultants for more information. Hopefully you found the information in this video useful. If you have, please hit the like button and consider sharing it with your friends, family and colleagues. Also hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified about future videos, such as more of our TechSplained videos and our shorter Tech Bytes videos. Until then though, see you soon!